And welcome back. Well, parents who have teens who face ADHD have many challenges, and that carries over into teaching good driving habits.
Our next guests say the key is engaging kids in a conversation about driving and practicing skills behind the wheel. They also say sometimes driving should be delayed for a while. Gayle, Sweeney, and Shanahan are executive functioning coaching experts, and Scallon is with the group called Before the Wheel. Great to see all of you this morning.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for being here. Let's get right to it. There's some very interesting statistics, I think, as it relates to the challenges that teenagers face who have ADHD and they're beginning the process of learning to drive.
Yes, there are. And actually, they're 4 times more likely than their peers to actually get in an accident. And unfortunately, driving schools and our public school system, we're just not geared to support the parents of kids with ADHD in this area.
And along with that statistic, 2 times as likely to get a speeding ticket and 5 times more likely to get a traffic citation. So those statistics really kind of tell that story.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the impulsivity, you know, and,
yes.
the executive part of the brain. They're impulsive. They do things without thinking. So, you know, they speed. They're reckless. They get in a car without permission. Those kind of things. That's the things associated with ADHD.
So the background of it is driving is a complex skill that requires the brain to be focused on many different things happening all at once. Things that are going on inside the car, like passengers and noise, things that are happening outside the car on all sides, and where the car is going.
Yeah.
So executive functioning is the function in the brain that controls activities such as everything from organizing, prioritizing, planning, modulating emotions, which would include anger, think road rage, and regulating alertness. So when any of those functions, the executive functions, are impaired, we see it hits really hard. People who struggle with ADHD and other executive functioning challenges.
So real quick again, what are the 3? Say the
okay,
3
so
again.
3, yes. The 3 the 3 symptoms that are directly affected by the executive functioning challenges with people who have ADHD is impulsivity, distractibility, and inattention. There are other functions impacted, but those are the main ones. So for example, distractibility would be reading billboards and signs. And then you have distractibility audio by passengers in the car. Just picture a car full of teenagers and they're going to a party, and you know, anybody could be distracted, but yes.
Well, and I think this is an important point, that since driver's ed programs do not cover the special risks associated with the symptoms that you mentioned of ADHD, I think parents are wondering, are there specific things they can do to prevent their teenagers from engaging in risky behaviors? And we have these things highlighted on the screen as you go with them. So the first one is schedule an individual driving plan meeting. You do this at school, an individual plan, but the same needs to be true with the driving plan, right?
That's exactly right. All over the country, we have ADHD students, and their parents are very used to, in the educational system, having a meeting at the beginning of the year and figuring out accommodations academically and in the curriculum. So what we're suggesting and what we say is we have 14 points that need to be discussed in the individual driving planning meeting. One of those is, how many hours is my student or my son or daughter going to be behind the wheel before they get their license?
Right.
We recommend 70 hours. You know, each state is different. The state of Wisconsin is 30 hours. Illinois is 50 hours. Most states are in between both of those.
But you recommend more than twice the state requirement.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
We also, one of the other talking points of the 14 in that meeting should be number of passengers. How many passengers should be allowed in the car when they're a independent driver?
And what do you say is a rule of thumb? Because you've said that many times before.
Well, if it is that first 9 months, it can only be 1 unrelated passenger.
1 unrelated. Okay.
So
not a sibling, but a friend.
Even the related ones might affect this situation.
Yeah.
Exactly. So these are state requirements, and what we suggest is no passengers until the age of 18, unless they're over 21.
Okay.
And in that meeting, we can talk about certain different things, like, oh, I have a younger sibling I have to take to school, that kind of thing. But we suggest, again, no passengers in the car till 18.
Well, and I think it's important to say that this is not a punishment for a child who has the challenges of ADHD. This is a way that we're talking about to protect them.
That's exactly
to
right.
protect people who might potentially be passengers in their car, and do what's best for them so that they're able to have success and pride in learning this very important new life skill. So the other things, set them up to succeed.
Exactly.
No vacation from medications. You say manual transmission, which I want you to talk about that, as well as an app that we're going to talk about in just a second. But those, don't take a vacation from medications, especially in the summer, which I know sometimes students do, and the manual transmission.
Yes. Okay, so many times students that have ADHD are on stimulant medication, and a parent would never think of sending the student to take a final exam or even a midterm or even a quiz in the academic arena without taking their medication. But the same parent oftentimes casually lets them get behind the wheel of a car. And so all we're recommending is, if they're on medication, and only a physician can decide, you know, if that's appropriate, that the time to take a break from it is not when you're going to drive a car.
Right.
Whether it's wearing off in the evening, or some take it as a break in the summer, for the whole summer. And coincidentally, these accident statistics that you just saw are elevated during the June, July, and August months. So
we're running out of time, but I want to get to the manual transmission. Is that to keep your brain engaged?
Yes, the sensory, yes, there's been research done, and the sensory, this particular population does better with the manual transmission.
Fascinating.
So,
Interesting, because you'd think it would be just the opposite. That they
distraction, right.
It keeps them focused on the drive.
It is counterintuitive.
Okay.
Let's talk about the app that you have. What is the app?
So we developed an app, but it's known that ADHD students do really well with checklists.
Here's the app right here.
So we made a check. They do well with checklists. So there's 14 questions. Some of them are about self-awareness, like, am I hungry? Hungry, if you're hungry, you get in the car, and then, oh gosh, I'm hungry, I'm going to go through the drive-through. In the drive-through, now I'm eating. I'm eating and I'm driving at the same time.
Okay.
Yes, distracted.
Angry is one of the questions.
Angry, of course, when we get behind the wheel, any of us, when we get behind the wheel, there's cause for potential accident or injury.
And there's cell blockers and drive cams also?
Yes, there are. There are. One thing I want to note about this app is that once all the checklist questions are answered, there's a text message that's sent to the parents. I'm going to school, I'm not having any, I don't have any passengers, I took my medication at 8 a.m. this morning, and then the phone goes off, and it asks, where are you going to stow your phone? Are you going to stow it in the glove compartment, in the back of the seat, or in the trunk of the car? So then the phone goes off when you get to the destination. The first question that they see on the app is, are you at your destination? Yes. So then the parents know then he's at his destination and he got there safely.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're out of time, but Ann, people can go to your website as well, beforethewheel.adhd.com, learn more, and just Before the Wheel, what will they find?
There is a links page with their website, with the Behind the Wheel with ADHD, so they can get more information on the programs that are offered.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, just important to separate the two. Behind the Wheel with ADHD.com is the website that you ladies have.
Yes.
There's great information on there, a lot of resources, a lot of good information for parents to read and know about. It's really interesting to understand the specific risks related to ADHD, and Ann didn't get a chance to really talk much today because she brought these special guests today, but her website is beforethewheel.com, but you can also get a link to their ADHD website about driving. It's great to meet you. Thank you for the information.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.